fail REG? Did your plans for passing REG blow up when you saw your score? Well, if you failed REG, it was probably because you thought you knew the basic concepts, and then it turned out maybe you didn't. The CPA exam asks the same kind of questions on the REG exam all the time, over and over again, and maybe you studied for it, maybe you thought you knew it, but maybe you just memorized and it's just not enough, is it? One of the concepts that they probably tested you on that you weren't ready for was partnership tax. And in particular, the difference between a liquidating distribution and a non-liquidating distribution from a partnership. Did you have a question like that on your exam, where they give you some facts about a partnership, basis, and a distribution, and they ask you, what is Jill's basis in the automobile received in the liquidation? So here's a question they ask all the time about partnership liquidation. And you probably had a question just like this on your exam, and you'll have one on your next exam. Let's look at it together. Jill received $30,000 in cash and an auto with a basis and market value of $10,000 in a liquidating distribution from J&W Partnership. And what do they want to know? What's Jill's basis in the auto received in the liquidation? So she got $30,000 in cash and she got the car. The car had a basis and a market value of $10,000. It was a liquidating distribution from a partnership. Now, very important, her basis in the partnership interest before the distributions, $70,000. So she's starting out with a $70,000 basis, and it's a liquidating distribution. The cash, the auto. So what does it mean to have a liquidating distribution from a partnership? It means that whatever basis you had previously, $70,000 in this case, needs to be zeroed out because it's a liquidating distribution. Jill is not going to have any basis left after these distributions. So they want to know what's her basis in the auto received in the liquidation. Now this has to be done in order because she didn't just get the car, she also got $30,000 in cash. So the partnership's being liquidated, she's going to take home $30,000 in cash and a car, and the question on the exam is asking what's her basis in the car. So if she turns around and sells the car, what's her basis in the car? And we got to do this in order, and the order is always take the cash first. So that means $30,000 in cash gets applied to the $70,000 basis, and that brings her basis down to $40,000. After the cash distribution, she has a remaining basis in the partnership of $40,000. Why is that important? Because we have to zero out her basis since it's a liquidating distribution. She's not allowed to have any basis left in the partnership after we give her the car. Well, if there's $40,000 left after getting the cash, 70 minus 30, there's $40,000 left for her in her partnership basis. Then it's going to take $40,000 to zero out her partner basis, which means we're going to have to give her a basis in the car of $40,000. Answer is B. So B is the answer. Always subtract the cash first. So although she's getting cash and a car, notice we subtracted the $30,000 cash from the $70,000 basis before we even considered the car. So now $40,000 is her basis remaining in the partnership, and because we have to zero it out, $40,000 is going to be her basis in the car. And that's because it's a liquidating distribution. All remaining basis must be closed out since it's a liquidating distribution. So that means she needs a basis of $40,000 for the car in order to zero out her partner basis. She now has no remaining basis in the partnership since we're liquidating. So we had to give her a $40,000 basis in the car. Notice that we ignored some facts. They told us that the car had a basis and a market value of $10,000, and we completely ignored that because we had to liquidate her entire remaining interest in the partnership after giving her the $30,000 in cash. Right? We were left with $40,000 after the $30,000 cash, and we just took all $40,000 remaining basis against the car. And we ignored the fact that the car had a basis and market value of $10,000 in the hands of the partnership immediately before the liquidation. We didn't care about that at all, it turned out, because it's liquidating. All right, I think I know what you're wondering. What if it was a non-liquidating distribution? Same facts, but non-liquidating. So now Jill receives $30,000 in cash and an auto with a basis and market value of $10,000, but it's a non-liquidating distribution from the partnership. That just means the partnership's going to give her these two assets, and the partnership is still going to continue on, not liquidate. Once again, her basis in the partnership was $70,000 before the distribution. And what is her basis in the auto received in the distribution? Is it going to be $40,000 again? Let's see. Remember, when we did the liquidating distribution, we took the cash first. We had $40,000 remaining, and we applied all $40,000 against the car because we have to zero out her basis if it's liquidating. But here, it's clearly non-liquidating. So we're going to start the same way. Always apply the cash first. Even though there's two distributions, cash has to be applied to the basis first. So once again, it's $70,000 minus $30,000 in cash brings her basis down to $40,000. But from here, it's going to be very different. Because we don't have to liquidate the partnership, now she's going to have a remaining basis once these distributions are over. So now assets come out of a partnership at the basis that they had previously, which means $10,000. So you take the $30,000 in cash first, you're down to $40,000 before the car, and now you're just going to take a $10,000 distribution for the car, and that's what she's going to have, a basis in the car of $10,000, which is answer choice D. So once again, we always subtract the cash first, even though it's non-liquidating. We're left with $40,000 prior to the car, but since it's a non-liquidating distribution, assets come out of a partnership at basis, $10,000. $10,000 would be Jill's basis in the car, and this is important too. She would still have a basis remaining in the partnership of $30,000 in case they ask. So the answer to the question is she has a basis in the car of $10,000. If she goes to sell the car, she only has a basis in it of $10,000. But she still has a remaining basis in the partnership of $30,000. And they could easily ask you that. What's her remaining basis in the partnership after these two distributions? They didn't ask that here, but they could. And we always anticipate the next question based on the facts given. So this time around, she would have a remaining basis because it's a non-liquidating distribution. She'd have a remaining basis in the partnership of $30,000. Whereas when it was liquidating, she wouldn't have any remaining basis in the partnership because we took all $40,000 and applied it to the car. And we had to do that because it was a liquidating distribution. But here, when it's non-liquidating, just take the asset out at whatever basis it had in the partnership, and that's the basis to her, $10,000 for that car, and she has a remaining basis in the partnership of $30,000. Now, the only other thing they could ask you here is what if the basis of the car was 10, but the fair value of the car was not 10, but 15? Would that change anything? What's Jill's basis in the auto received? So same question, but we changed one fact. It's non-liquidating distribution, so we don't have to zero out her basis. So she starts with a $70,000 basis. We give her the $30,000 in cash. We're at that $40,000 place again. That's her remaining basis in the partnership before the car. Now, does the car come to her with a $10,000 basis or a $15,000 fair market value? How do we handle Jill's basis in the car when the asset itself has a $10,000 basis but it's worth $15,000? Well, you have to remember that assets come out of a partnership at basis, not fair market value. So we would totally ignore the fair market value of $15,000. And that's the way the CPA exam will probably give it to you. Where the basis of the car is 10, the fair market value of the car is 15. So you start with the $70,000, subtract the cash distribution, always start with the cash. You're at that $40,000 basis, and then look for the basis of the car to the partnership. Take the asset out of the partnership at whatever basis it had. Ignore the fair market value. And that means Jill's basis in the car will still be $10,000, which is letter D. So once again, we always subtract the cash first. Take the $30,000 cash away from the basis, $40,000. Since it's a non-liquidating distribution, assets come out of a partnership at basis. That would be Jill's basis in the car, and she would still have a basis remaining in the partnership of $30,000. Make a note, when assets come out of a partnership, they come out at basis, not fair market value. If you found this video helpful, you can like and subscribe. And if you need a little more help with REG, go to CPAexamtutoring.com, click on courses. You can click on I-75 monthly subscription, you can get all 4 parts with 1 monthly subscription. Or if you want to just get 1 part, you could click on REG and it'll take you right to the I-75 REG course, and you can get either a monthly subscription or you can get 6 months for $2.99. Whichever option you choose, you'll still get the narrated question videos where I go through all the questions and walk you through them, including the simulations. I take you through a sim from start to finish. You get the full test bank so you can practice on your own, and you get the Amazon ebook in both of these options. And my Amazon ebook contains the 75 must-know questions for REG. If you just want to ask me a question, you can email me here at Darius@CPAexamtutoring.com, or go hit the Contact Us button on the website at CPAexamtutoring.com. And you might want to subscribe to push notifications because that's where you'll get the best one-day-only specials.
Well, I've been afraid of changing 'cause I built my life around you.
Is passing the CPA exam harder than doing a backflip? Well, the answer is it's all about preparation.
Hi, I'm Darius Clark, and here at I-75 CPA Review, I'm going to put you on the right road. So when you go to take FAR, Audit, BEC, and REG, you're going to have so much confidence, you're going to be like this guy doing a backflip. So go to CPAexamtutoring.com and take I-75 to your next pass. Because the only thing more painful than failing the CPA exam is failing a backflip. So for just $109 a month, become a monthly subscriber to I-75 CPA Review and get all 4 parts for the same subscription.